Hey fam, let's Bible study together. Today, we're going to go ahead and dig into Proverbs. So, get your Bible, get your tablet, get your snacks, get your tea, get your coffee, or child, just get your headphones. But let's get it, let's go. Before we get started, let's take care of a little bit of housekeeping. Today I'm going to be reading out of my NIV Bible. Now, before you start clutching your pearls and saying, child, that's not the authorized King James Version, or I don't have that version. Breathe. It's okay. We're all family here. We're going to work this out, okay? Just understand that whatever version you have or whatever version sings to your heart, it will be okay. It will work. The overall meaning is not going to change and it will flow. Okay? So it'll be the same no matter what. Okay? Tomato, tomato.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I do have some disclaimers. I want to let you know up front that I am a very unorthodox Bible studier and teacher. I have been known to spend hours, just going over one paragraph, seeing how deep that rabbit hole can go. But in an effort to save your sanity and being mindful of your time, I'm going to do things a little differently here. So I don't know about you, but I'm a planner. So I like to know what I'm getting myself into. So don't worry, I got you. I have an outline of how things are going to flow and work out. Okay, so here's the outline. First, I'm going to go ahead and just read through the entire chapter. No stops, all gas, no breaks. And then secondly, I will discuss some highlights of what stuck out to me. And then third, I will insert a couple, maybe just one, but I will insert something here that relates to real life examples in relation to whatever may have been discussed in the chapter. And then fourth, I will share me writing down notes in my faith planner. And then last, we'll go ahead and wrap everything up and get ready for the next one. So that's your little itinerary. That's your little syllabus. We should be good to go. My son, do not forget my teaching, but keep my commands in your heart, for they will prolong your life many years and bring you peace and prosperity. Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and shun evil. This will bring health to your body and nourishment to your bones. Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing, and your vats will brim over with new wine. My son, do not despise the Lord's discipline, and do not resent his rebuke, because the Lord disciplines those he loves. As a father, the son he delights in. Blessed are those who find wisdom, those who gain understanding, for she is more profitable than silver and yields better returns than gold. She is more precious than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with her. Long life is in her right hand. In her left hand are riches and honor. Her ways are pleasant ways, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to those who take hold of her. Those who hold her fast will be blessed. By wisdom, the Lord laid the earth's foundations. By understanding, he set the heavens in place. By his knowledge, the watery depths were divided, and the clouds let drop the dew. My son, do not let wisdom and understanding out of your sight. Preserve sound judgment and discretion. They will be life for you, an ornament to grace your neck. Then you will go on your way in safety, and your foot will not stumble. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet. Have no fear of sudden disaster or of the ruin that overtakes the wicked. For the Lord will be at your side and will keep your foot from being snared. Do not withhold good from those whom it is due. When it is in your power to act, do not say to your neighbor, "Come back tomorrow, and I'll give it to you," when you already have it with you. Do not plot harm against your neighbor who lives trustfully near you. Do not accuse anyone for no reason when they have done you no harm. Do not envy the violent or choose any of their ways, for the Lord detests the perverse, but takes the upright into his confidence. The Lord's curse is on the house of the wicked, but he blesses the home of the righteous. He mocks proud mockers, but shows favor to the humble and oppressed. The wise inherit honor, but fools get only shame.
Let's go ahead and take a closer look at Proverbs 3. There are a couple of things that I want to point out, a couple of words that stood out to me. And one of those first ones was the first fruits. This is something that isn't talked about a lot, as if it's not still important or it isn't still valid. So I just want to quickly highlight this. I don't want to get anyone lost, but I do want to point out what it is and why it's still important. So first fruits is the Hebrew word meaning bikurim, and it translates to promise to come. In the Old Testament, this was an offering of the first agricultural produce of a harvest. When given, God advised that he would bless it all that came after that. Even though we don't currently live in an agrarian-based society, we can still offer God the first fruits that we do have. So you can offer, God say at the beginning of the year, you can offer the first fruits of your first paycheck. Let's say you don't have any money. You can offer God the first fruits of your service or whatever it is that you do have to offer. That can still be offered because you want God to bless you and multiply what you have come through your hands. Let's move on to the definitions. So I have three main ones that stuck out to me here that I feel like we could dig just a little bit deeper on, and sometimes they get misconstrued. So I just want to clear that up. The first one is discipline. Now, this is a noun that means training to act in accordance with rules, an activity, exercise, or regimen that develops or improves a skill. So if you're disciplining someone, you are training them or you are developing them. Prosperity is a noun, and it's the condition of being successful or thriving, especially economic well-being. And our last word here is a rebuke, and it can be a noun, which is an expression of a strong disapproval, or it can be used as a verb to express sharp, stern disapproval, reprove, or reprimand. Now, most people will see a rebuke as a bad thing. And I want to tell you guys, nay. A rebuke is actually a very good thing. It is a form of correction. It is something being pointed out so that you could change it to get on a better path or change it to something correct. You don't want to continue doing something wrong. When God gives a rebuke, then he gives it out of love because he doesn't want to see you go the wrong way. He doesn't want to see sin overtake you. So if he gives you a rebuke, that's out of love. If you correct your child, that's out of love. You don't want to see them doing wrong. So when people give rebukes, I will say this, a lot of people will give them from a negative, nasty place. And that's not the way to do it. The foundation of a rebuke should always be with the undertone of love. So if I'm rebuking you, then I'm doing it because I love you and I don't want to see you do wrong. And this is the error, or this is the correction. So digging a little deeper, discipline is a Hebrew word, musar, and it can be translated to a physical chastisement, a correction, an instruction, or reproof. The root word here is disciple, which means student. So we can take this all the way back to Jesus, where Jesus was is the rabbi, also known as teacher, and his disciples were his students. Makes sense. Let's go ahead and dig deeper into a rebuke again. Again, it's just confronting an error or pointing out sin. And as far as prosperity, this is taking on a negative connotation within the church as of the latter days, as of currently the time period that we're in. And I just want to clear that up. God does not want his people to not be prosperous. Okay, that is complete opposite. God doesn't want you poor. He doesn't want you to lack. He doesn't want you to not be successful or have things. It's the exact opposite. This is actually God's covenant. And you can check this out in Deuteronomy 8:18, and it's also reconfirmed in Joshua 1:8. But I'll go ahead and read Deuteronomy 8:18 in the NIV version for you now. But remember, the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the ability to produce wealth, and so confirms his covenant, which he swore to your ancestors as it is today. So there it is, folks. God wants you to be prosperous. So let's stop with the shenanigans on that. Some of the key scriptures that stuck out to me on this one was 3:5 and 3:11. On 3:5, it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not unto your own understanding. And that couldn't be just more relevant. Okay. Anytime you do something on your own, 9 chances out of 10, it's just going to mess up or not go right down the road. Okay. So lean to the Lord with all of your understanding and you should be golden. Also on 3:11, it says, my son, do not despise the Lord's discipline and do not resent his rebuke. He's saying, don't get upset with me, when I try to correct you. Don't get mad when I point out your sin. I do it out of love. So when talking about rebukes and God giving a rebuke, he can do it all sorts of ways. He can give you a strong rebuke, a light rebuke. He can talk to you, audibly. He can send someone to you. He can do it in a dream. Any way he does it, it's because he's reaching out to you to tell you, hey, I love you and this is wrong. Which leads me into our next real life moment. And in this one, we're going to be joining Queen Naja. And she is, as of the time of this recording, a 27-year-old American singer and social media influencer. She has over 5 million YouTube followers and over 9 million Instagram followers, and has been an artist with Capitol Records since 2018. When she was around 14 years old, God took her aside in a dream and gave her a very strong rebuke. And let's go ahead and listen to that now.
I got a pretty intense warning from God. So I want to tell you about a time when I was like, I think I was 14 or I don't know if I was 14 or 15. I'ma just say 14. I remember at 14 I was really like rebellious against my mom, but I always knew that God had like a calling on my life since I was a baby, like since before I was born. Like I know that God got a calling on my life. Like he done gave me a voice, and I know that he gave me this voice to use for him. Y'all, the scariest dream I had, I don't know if you guys know about the rapture or whatever like that, but I believe in a rapture. The rapture is when God comes back to earth, get all the people that was right with him, and like, you know, the dead rise first, and the people who are still like alive, like they rise up, and you know, stuff like that, and he just gather all his people that lived, you know, holy and lived right for him. So I had a dream. Okay, this is how the dream started. So I'm standing in line, and in front of me was my mom, and I think it was my stepdad in the front of my mom. And like I'm standing in line like this, and then like on the side of me over here there's like a wooden table, and I couldn't see who it was, but from the feeling of it felt like it was God sitting at the table. And ahead of all of us there was a gate. Now I couldn't see his face, but all I know that it was like an outlining of a body. It was like an orb, but it was like a spirit, but you knew that it was a heavenly spirit. He had power, so I'm guessing that it was God, and I'm guessing that this was Judgment Day or something like that. I'm standing in line, and you know, he's judging my stepdad, and my stepdad, he entered to the gates, and then my mom, and then, you know, I didn't hear what he said to her, but I'm guessing she must have got in. And when it got to me, it's like, he said, "Depart from me. I do not know you." And in the Bible it says that, like, you know, on Judgment Day, like, those are gonna be the words that he say. Like, he's gonna say either he's gonna say, "Well done, you know, thy good and faithful servant. You know, you can enter into the gate." And if you don't make it, then he's gonna say, "Depart from me, I do not know you." So when it got to me, that's what he said, y'all. Like, imagine, just take a moment to imagine yourself standing there, like, before God, you know what I'm saying, and he tell you he don't know you. Like, your name is not, like, written in the book of life. Your name is not written, you know, down to go to heaven. Imagine God telling you that. Like, what can you do? You can't argue with him. You can't do nothing. All you can do is just probably not even cry. You probably just gonna disappear. So this is what happened. When he told me that, I didn't have room to say nothing, y'all. Like, I didn't have time to say anything. Like, all I know is, as soon as he said that, it was like that. Like, it was like that. I was gone. I had disappeared. But when I disappeared, I suddenly ended up on this road. And it was this, like, dark road, y'all. Like, it was this dark road. It was not only me on the road, but it was like, it was so many other people on this road, y'all. And it was people in front of me, people on the side of me, people in the back of me. Everybody had on these white t-shirts, but the white t-shirts, they were dirty, and they were, like, torn, they were ripped. So I'm guessing that the shirts stood for, like, a white shirt is, like, you know, pure white, you know, stands for purity. And then the shirts that, like, the ones that were the tears and the rips and all that stuff in the dirt, that, I think that represented all of our sin and all of our, you know, our filth. And yeah, so everybody just had on these ripped shirts, and they were just walking, some were running. I think we were like kind of like jogging, and everybody had these worried looks on their faces, like. And then there was this white guy next to me, and he looked at me. I don't know if I looked at him or he looked at me first, but one of us said, I think, no, he said to me, he said, what, you didn't make it? You didn't make it either? And I was like, no, I didn't make it, no. And y'all, that was like just going down that dark road, like that was the scariest thing ever. Like that was the most scariest, I feel like that's the most scariest dream I ever had, because it's nothing worse. Like we you know, we live here, you know, but this life is temporary, y'all. So that's why God tells us not to get too caught up into ourselves and into like the ways of the world and stuff like that, and material things, because this body, everything, like this whole world, everything is temporary, y'all. Like if your soul not right, like it don't mean nothing, I'm telling you. So I woke up, and y'all, I remember the whole house was dark, because it had to be in the middle of the night. And bro, when I tell you, I got up around that house. I was looking for my mama, I was looking for my stepdad. I was trying to make sure they were still there, because I thought that God had came back and I was left. Like, and when I seen that they were still there, it's like I had this huge relief, like this big old mountain off my back, because y'all, that was the most scariest feeling ever. Like even now, sometimes I still worry about it, because nobody knows the day or the hour, you know what I'm saying, that he gonna return. And it's like so many of us are doing our own thing, and so many of us are getting wrapped up into our lifestyles, and that we forget why we really here, like what our purpose is. And like some of y'all may not believe, you know what I'm saying, but some of y'all do believe in God, but you just, you know, you don't put in enough effort, as much effort as you should, you know, with the relationship with him. And that goes for me too, because y'all, like, it was a time where I was like heavy into God, and like I slid back, like, you know. And lately, like, I haven't even been going to church. Like, just because you young, and just because, you know, you doing your own thing, make sure you don't forget your purpose here, because God put everybody here for a purpose. He put everybody here for a reason. No matter how old you are, he put you here because he want to, you know, use you. And if you make mistakes and stuff like that, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has sin. Everybody has weaknesses that they deal with. It's like, do you learn from it? You know what I'm saying? And, you know, God may let you get away with something for so long, but then he'll warn you. You know, he'll send you signs, either in dreams, or like you'll be able to tell because how stuff goes in your life. The thing, y'all, don't turn against God because something bad happened in your life. You know what I'm saying? You have to remember that he is just God. And you, as much as like stuff, you know, happens in our life and it's sad, you can't really question why he does things, because our minds are not made to understand everything.
thanks for studying with me today. This was a really awesome one. I really enjoyed chapter 3. My favorite verse out of this one was definitely verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Ugh, the lean not on your own understanding is like amplified for me. Comment down below and let me know what your favorite verse was. Again, anything that I use, it's linked down below in my shop. There's also freebies available. And I'm just so excited that you guys have decided to join me for this little journey in Proverbs. So get ready for the next one. Bye.